Good morning everyone. I am Nirmala. I am working as assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today I am going to explain about the black box approach for the test case design. So this is the problem statement. And we are going to write the test cases for the white box testing for this problem statement. So black box testing, so it is also known as a behavioral, opaque box, closed box, or the specification based or eye to eye testing. So it is a software testing method which helps to analyze the functionality of a software or the application without knowing much about the internal structure or the design of the item that is being tested, and compares the input value with the output value. So these are the types of black box testing. Practically there are several types of black box testing that are possible, but if we consider major variant, if it is mentioned below based upon the two fundamental ones. First one, functional testing. This type deals with the functional requirements or the specification of an application. Here the different actions or the functions of the system are being tested by providing the input and comparing the actual output with the expected output. For example, when we test a drop-down list, we click on it and verify it expands and all the expected values are showing in the list. Four major types of functional testing are smoke testing, sanity testing, integration system testing, regression testing, and acceptance testing. So non-functional testing. Apart from the functionalities of the requirements, there are several non-functional aspects as well as that are required to be tested to improve the quality and the performance of the application. These are the few major types of the non-functional testing: usability testing, load testing, performance testing, compatibility testing, and the stress testing. So these are the comparison for the functional requirements versus non-functional requirement. First one, functional requirement, it is customer based. Non-functional requirement is based on the developers and technical knowledge of the team. Next point, the functional requirement specifies which functionality to be taken into consideration, that what needs to be tested. Non-functional requirements specify how it needs to be tested. Functional testing is performed for the application before the application goes live. Non-functional requirements includes maintenance testing, documentation testing, which are not required while the execution is going on, but one application has gone live. It is known as the functional requirement only. It is known as quality requirements. The implementation plan for the functional requirement is defined in the system design document. The implementation plan for the non-functional requirement is defined in the system architecture. Functional requirement includes the testing of the technical functionality of the system. Non-functional requirements includes the qualities like security, usability. The various parameters which are checked in the black box are accurate actions performed by the users, system interaction with the inputs, the response time of the system, use of the data structure issues in the interface, usability issues, performance issues, abrupt application failure, and which is unable to start or finish. Equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table testing, state transition testing, error guessing, graph-based testing methods, and comparison testing. So these are the techniques which are used in implementing the black box testing. First one, equivalence partitioning. It is also known as the equivalence class partitioning. In this method, the input domain is divided into the different equivalence data classes, which are generally termed as valid and invalid. The inputs of the software or the system are divided into groups that are expected to exhibit similar behavior. Thus, it reduces the number of the test cases to a finite list of testable testers for comparing the maximum possibilities. Example, suppose the application you are testing accepts the values in the character limit from 1 to 100. Here are the partitions: one valid partition and two invalid partition. The valid partition will be ranging from 1 to 100 characters. The expectation is that the text field would handle all the inputs with 100 characters, and the same way the first invalid partition, 0 characters. When no characters are entered, we expected the text field to reject the value. Second invalid partition, greater than or equal to 101. It is expected that the text field to reject all the values greater than or equal to 101 characters. Equivalence partition is divided into two categories: Pressman rule and practice rule. Pressman rule: if the input is in the range of values, the test cases for one valid and two invalid values. If an input is the set of the values, then the test cases designed for all the valid sets and two invalid tests. If the input is Boolean, then the design test cases for both true and false values. For example, consider an online shopping website where the product should have specified product ID name and ID and name. Users can search either by the name of the product or the product ID. Here you can consider the set of the products with the product IDs. So here is the example for it. If an input range is of the values, then divide the range into two equivalent parts. The test for all the valid values and ensure that two invalid values are being tested. This is the example for testing the valid and the invalid values. Based upon the range of the values, we will be testing. That's it. Thank you.